You were talking about how you were in a hotel, you were so exhausted, and that you were basically asleep and just out of it for 30 hours that they had to come and
A
do
wellness check.
Yeah.
They had to knock on the door because I checked in and no one had seen me and I hadn't ordered food. And
What was it? Burnout from work?
so it was a combination of things. Yes, it was stress and burnout. That was part of it. And I just hadn't slept, like I'd been working, making calls. Like it just always felt like my health and well-being should be second. Like there was always something more important, always something more important. And because I could always drum up the energy to go just a little further, right? Eventually that catches up with you. You can only lose so many hours of sleep. It's called a sleep deficit before it catches up with you. And that's where I was. Plus my blood pressure was 173 over 153, like stroke range, So I just,
Why?
I got
What was
there and
going
collapsed.
on? And how did, what, were there no signs? Were you ignoring it? Were you just pushing through it? And
There are always signs, and that's something that I've started sharing now with, especially Black women and women of color. I believe that because we live in a world where we are constantly having to look out for ourselves and our well-being, we've become acclimated to a level of anxiety and stress that it's so the norm that we don't recognize as it starts to ratchet up, our baseline is already not normal. If you have to walk around worrying about your constant well-being and safety, you have acclimated to a level of stress that is not normal. So what has happened was I ignored the signs because I was used to chaos within myself. I was used to a chaos created by the society I was in. So it wasn't weird to me.
you were just functioning.
I was just
this
functioning.
was part of
it was
the norm.
normal. It was normal for me.
Wow.
And also I always try to tell people when you hear, oh, they died of stress, or oh, they worked too hard, or they worked themselves to death. That is the final outcome. Prior to that, they had heart conditions. They were having headaches. They were, missing activities and tired and not getting enough sleep. All of those things are signs that your body's breaking down. We just don't register it as needing change until it's too late.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so now is there a sign that you're very sensitive to, that you're just like, okay, time for a break, time for a wellness, time for my sabbatical? What is that sign?
I definitely think that in 2023, my primary focus was two things, and it applied to my business and my personal life. And I told my team, I said, this is what we're following here about everything. The first thing was, we're not going to kill ourselves behind this work. So whatever comes in, if we can't figure out a way to do it without having to put in extra hours or feeling like we're rallying all the troops, and I don't mean not that little push across the finish line. I mean, if we're going above and beyond for no good reason,
Right.
We're not doing it. And then the second thing is we're listening to our intuition. If it just doesn't feel good, it's not worth it.
Right.
This whole concept of scarcity around opportunity, scarcity around the ability to hustle and grind, like you can't hustle and grind if you're dead. Right. So, there will always be another day, and it just isn't worth it. So now that's what I listen to. If my intuition's like, this is going to be team too much, even this is the greatest thing ever. I love meeting you. I love being here. I love the work you do and the work that your husband does. And this is just so... It's so fulfilling to be able to, sit down, because I don't do a lot of interviews with someone I really admire and respect. And if for some reason I woke up today and I was too tired, I would have to let you know I couldn't make it.
Right.
And you hope that people can understand
Absolutely.
that, but you also recognize that it matters that you understand why you did
That's
it.
the most important part. And, also now that I'm older and a mom and going through the work and just the journey, I have more grace. I have more understanding. But you can tell. You can tell when someone is like genuine with whatever their reasoning is, right? And then you can also tell, okay, you're just playing me, you're wasting my time.
Right, or you don't take this. I mean, especially, let's talk LA.
Right.
In LA, people are always trading up for the next opportunity.
Of
Like
course.
people won't even confirm an activity till the day of because they're waiting for a better invite. You know what I mean? It's like a very LA thing,
Yes.
And when I came here, I had to adjust because I was like, why isn't anybody ever showing up? Or I would say, like, can we put something on the calendar? Well, call me closer. What does that mean?
Right.
This is the scheduling call. Like, what are we doing?
This is the time.
This is the time where we're doing the booking.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, just like day of, let me know. And then even if you have it on the calendar, day of, you call and you say, are we still good for that thing? And they might be like, oh man, it's raining. And I'm like, that's just weather.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's water.
It's water that comes from the sky. It happens everywhere, some places more, it was just like a whole thing, or they'll be like, oh man, yeah, I could go, but like you're in the valley.
Do you know how many times I've heard this?
you know what's wild? It makes sense to me now. I've been here for 3 years and I finally understand when someone says to me like, oh yeah, no, let's go. Well, where do you want to meet up? Oh, there's this great place in Culver City. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I have to, it's like, I got to get on the 101, the 405, and then the 10, unless I can come over the hill. That's 3 freeways. I don't really know. Like, what time?
Well, how many freeways are you willing to be on?
Definitely no more than 2. That's like really that no more than 2. I think that's like a baseline standard, or I'll come over the hill as long as it's between the hours of 10 and 2. Like, I know myself very well. These are called boundaries.
Yeah.